Welcome to the Spirit of a Badass, where we celebrate stories of courage, hope, and resiliency. I'm your host, Alecia Jacobson.
What's up, badasses? I do some of my greatest thinking in the gym or in yoga, and I just got back from my exercise class. I am drenched in sweat still. My face looks like maybe I ran here, but no, I was just running in the gym. But when I was at the gym, I was thinking about this idea of falling off the wagon, which you may have said, you may have thought. You may think sometimes that you fall off the wagon. And in my way of thinking, I feel like falling off the wagon is a mindset. And there is no wagon. Like, we're not on the Oregon Trail here. There is absolutely no wagon to fall off. And the reason I got thinking about this is because I haven't been I have been exercising, but I haven't been running. So I go to Orange Theory. And if you know anything about Orange Theory, you go in, there's like treadmills, rowers, and weights. And about half the class is spent on the treadmill. Well, I got sick about a month ago. And by got sick, I mean I had a little sniffle and a cough. But this weird thing has been happening to me when I get just a tiny bit sick. My body goes into like this inflammation mode and my muscles are sore, and it took me out for a whole night. But the last couple times that this has happened, it's happened, I think, 2 or 3 times in the last about 9 months. It has taken me out for like a week. It's been bad. It like gets better and then it gets worse. So when this happened, I was like, well, shit, I don't have a week to be down for the count, you know? So I cut back on my workouts. And then when I did go back, I felt better like a day later. When I did go back, I just walked. So they have a walking option where you do the higher incline. And then some of the days I was working, I've been doing some more podcast recording. So there was just a whole slew of reasons, but it ended up being like a good solid month that I hadn't actually did the workout that was prescribed by them. Now, I went to yoga. I've been doing, lots of other things. However, I haven't done this. And I have worked with so many women that have this idea that they have fallen off this imaginary wagon. Like somehow this is a representation of them, that they have failed. And when I say representation of them, I mean like, oh, this is what I always do. This is who I am. I am a person that just gives up or makes excuses, or they kind of like wear it as their identity. This idea of this wagon that you fall off is like a part of their identity and something that they have done many times in the past and that undoubtedly they will do in the future. And if you can break up with that mindset, that way of thinking, you will have so much success because there is no wagon. Like I said, like this ain't the Oregon Trail. You're just doing life. And I went there today. I didn't want to go. My husband knew I didn't want to go. It was actually kind of funny. He had done drop off this morning and we passed each other in the garage. And I was sort of like an Eeyore sulking out because I knew that today was my day back to running. And I knew it was going to be just uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable anyway, but it was just a little bit different, vibe that I was feeling. And he just kind of giggled at me. He's like, it's okay. You got it. You can do it. I'm like, I know. But if I would have attributed it to something being wrong with me, a flaw that was inherently in me, the chances of me being able to just show up today. And by the way, I didn't do what they told me to do today. It was like this hill workout and you had to do all out running. I did a almost 11-minute mile the entire time. Normally, to give you some reference, I'm usually at about an 8-minute mile. And I didn't. I was like, I don't care. I am here. I am here for me. I'm not here to prove to anyone else anything. I'm here for my own mental health, my physical health. I'm here because I, mostly enjoy it, mostly when it's over. But I didn't care. I didn't put any judgment negatively against myself because I haven't been there or because I didn't do what they were telling me to do. That was not like this wrong thing about me. And when you can release that idea that those things have meaning about who you actually are, there's so much potential for you because you've removed all these barriers that are only perceptions in your mind. They're only ways of thinking. And you can then make progress and you can go forward. So I really, really, really encourage you, if you are a person that has this idea that there is a wagon that you fall off, and this shows up, I mostly see it in nutrition and exercise, where if you don't adhere to whatever program that you've decided on or way of eating that you've decided on, you think you've fallen off the wagon. And then what happens is you just lay there. It just reminds me of this, like, well, what I felt I was doing is if I had fallen off the wagon, like a rope, I'm just like following behind, like being like bumping up and down, hanging on by this like rope, like I'm not letting go. That's not what it was, but that was the image that popped into my head using that analogy. But if you feel that way, oftentimes you just lay there and get run over by the rest of the caravan instead of viewing it as like, oh, this happened. I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to start. I'm just going to do what I said I was going to do. You know, you don't have to completely give up. You don't have to attribute it as something shameful about you or negative about you. It means what you make it mean. And you have the power to decide what you want it to mean. So if you want it to mean that you're a failure, that you always do this, then by all means, keep doing that. But I'm guessing if you're listening to this, that's not what you want. So work on breaking up with that mindset. Falls into that category of all or nothing. Start peeling that apart. Start thinking like, do I actually want to be thinking this about myself? Another question you can ask yourself is, what else is true? Sure, I didn't go for a month, but what else is true? I was doing a lot of other things. I was still doing other things. I wanted to go back, and I did. And that was also true. So really start to reimagine the things that you can be thinking and start practicing those, because we get to choose. And if you choose the negative, if you choose the part where you're failing and you of course are doing this again because you've always done this and you've always been this way, then you will continue to always be that way. But you have the power. You have the power to switch your thinking. You have the power to, when you realize, oh, I'm thinking that way again. I'm thinking all or nothing. I'm thinking that I have failed here. This is a shameful thing about me. You get to switch that and you get to think different thoughts. And when you do that, you will create a different outcome. You will be able to have, something happen where maybe you are not adhering to it. And then you will be able to just start. And that's all it is. It's just starting. It's just not giving up because you don't have that negative way of thinking, that failure and kind of shame-filled way of thinking about yourself. It means nothing. It means what you make it mean. You get to pick what you make it mean. Let's make it mean something, like make it mean what you want. All right. That's all I got for you today. I'm going to go take a shower. I hope you have a fabulous day. If you have any questions about this, I would love to talk to you. You can book a call with me in the show notes and get on my calendar. It's a Calendly link that I have there. It's a 30-minute free call. And if this is something that you experience, we can get kind of really clear on what it is that you personally, are experiencing, the thoughts that you're thinking, kind of where they've gotten you, and then what do you want to experience? And it's a really beautiful call, and you get to kind of feel what it's like to be in the coaching container, because it is a beautiful space to be. All right, my lovelies, have a fabulous day. I so much appreciate every review that I get, and to encourage you to give them because they are so important to the growth of this podcast and allowing me to serve more women and reach more people. I have an offer for you. So each month, I'm going to be drawing a name of someone who leaves a written review on the podcast. And you will be entered to win one of my online programs, the Fitness Accelerator, the Nutrition Starter Kit, and the Empowered Transformation Level 1. So anyone who leaves a written review each month, at the end of the month, I'll be drawing a name and you will get access to that program. Thank you so much to everyone who takes the time to leave a review. It does help grow this podcast and I appreciate it so much.
Spirit of a Badass is a Lit Path Studios podcast and is produced by Jamie Gale and Alecia Jacobson. Music by Shane Ivers. We'll be back with another inspiring interview. Until then, keep your spirits high and your energy badass.